Daredevil dropped 2 episodes on us last night, and they were fucking bangers. Before we go any forward, please note, spoilers are ahead of you. And also, if you're enjoying the content, of course, please hit me up with that like, hit me up with that share, hit me up with that follow, and subscribe. You know, all that jazz to keep the flow going. And now let's jump into it. So we had 2 episodes, as I mentioned before, on last night's Daredevil. I actually got so hyped I couldn't even record. So I'm pushing this out first thing today. Let's start off with episode 5. Episode 5 was essentially a filler episode, but it was a fun episode. We see Matt get caught up in a bank heist that goes wrong, of course, because Matt's there, but we get some really cool interactions there. First and foremost, he meets with Yusuf Khan. That's Kamala Khan, aka Miss Marvel's dad. They have really quirky, fun interaction, but through that interaction, we also get some Easter eggs. First and foremost, he kind of shows him a Funko of his daughter, Miss Marvel. Of course, you can't see, but cool little fact to kind of cross over. But the biggest takeaway from that one in this conversation is that when asked, she's out visiting her friends in California. And if you know, you know. I've been saying this. I've been harping on this. They're building the fucking Young Avengers. They're dropping clues left and right, left and right. That's where they're based out of, man. They're out in the freaking West Coast. Major clue there, I'm telling you. But overall, fun scene. Matt owns the shit out of these fucking bank robbers. There's a badass fucking fight scene in a stairwell. And it feels a little off pace, and honestly, that's because this is one of the only original episodes before it got rebooted that stayed in the new season, and you can tell, like, the storyline's still part of what ends up happening. They integrate it with the rest of the story, which we'll get to in a minute, but it's got just kind of a different feeling to it. It's more lighthearted, not as gritty, but it's still good. I enjoyed it. Again, it's a filler episode, clearly, but thoroughly enjoyed it. Aside from that, there's not much else that happens in episode 5. Again, just a cool little moment between Matt and himself, where you see Matt still rusty, and you can tell by, the fight towards the end when he's up against one last bank robber. He should have just fucking leveled him and folded him quick as hell, but he doesn't. And that's, again, he's rusty. He's been out of the game for about a year, right? But again, cool interaction there. The main episode is episode 6. That's where all fucking hell breaks loose, bruh. We get some really cool takeaways in episode 6 in that there's some Easter eggs, there's some cameos. We'll jump into those first. So we get introduced. Actually, you know what? I'm going to rewind that shit. In this episode, we essentially have parallels going on, as we have through the whole show, between Fisk and Matt's journey back to who they really are. They're both hiding from their truth. Matt's trying to hold back on Daredevil. Fisk is trying to hold back his Kingpin, but it's been breaking. You've been seeing these little things here and there between both of them, and that's what it leads up to here. But we have, Matt back in his apartment. He's praying on one of Foggy's, what are they called? It's a remembrance card. So he's reading that and he's praying. His girl asks him about the bank robbery, so that's how it links up to the last episode. He also gets visited by Hector's niece, who wants redemption and has been catching on to these little clues. So we got him killed and starts leading Matt towards a path somewhere in the subway. We also have, at the same time, Fisk is dealing with the realization that we have a serial killer on our hand, Muse. Muse has been blending his victim's blood with the paint, and he sees an opportunity that the NYPD is lacking in having not caught this. Instead, the sanitation department caught it, so he brings to life his anti-vigilante task force. And there we're introduced to Cold North. We're introduced to Cold North, who has a big storyline in the Daredevil comics, and he's making an introduction. I'm sure he's going to have a bigger impact down the line in season 2, but that's a cool moment. We also get some vid of Swordsman, who has clearly taken up the vigilantism since his interaction in Hawkeye, and also he shows up without a mask at Fisk's attempt to start pulling in money from a lot of the city's high-end people, and he gets pretty much owned by them. They tell him he ain't shit. You know, you might have run the streets, but we're the people that make this run. And you just start seeing, again, Kingpin's twitching. Really cool moment right before that is he's getting dressed. You know, he's slimmed down. They've talked about his weight, how he's lost. He's starting to bulk up again. He couldn't fit in his jacket. It ripped. Kingpin's coming back. That monstrosity. So yeah, we've got that going on, and you know, Matt's put off Muse, and that's been brought to his attention, and he's leaving that in the hands of the NYPD until he finds out that Hector's niece is missing, and says fuck it, literally says fuck it, goes to his Daredevil cave and puts on the suit, and it's a new updated suit, and it sure looks fire as hell. Goes down there at the same time. Like I said, we have parallels going on here. Fisk goes down to his little dungeon where he's got Adam, hands him an axe, and fucking unleashes him on him. He lets Adam come at him with the axe, but he just fucking wails and wails, but he doesn't kill him. Puts him to the brink of death and then throws him in the cage, his little prison, because you know what? Fisk likes to play with his food. And you know what? Also, so we didn't have Daredevil finally catch up with Muse as he's attempting to drain, what the fuck is her name? Angela, duh. He's trying to drain her, and they have a great fucking fight, to the point where Daredevil's theme comes in right as he's coming into action, his old school theme, and that's peak. And the fight scene there is gory, it's bloody, it's intense, it's aggressive, it's even fucking man just roaring out and fucking going at him. Everything that we wanted right out of these episodes. People are bitching and moaning about this being a lackluster compared to the other seasons. But nah, bro, you gotta flesh these characters out. It can't just be one tone. I love violence, trust me, I do. But there's got to be levels to this. Daredevil is on its game. Again, even the filler episode wasn't high intensity, but it was enjoyable. Again, there's different factions to these characters. We can't just rely on one thing. I don't understand why this thing's blinking behind me. It keeps throwing me off. That's why I keep peeking to the side. But yeah, great fight. And you can still see that Matt's rusty because Muse doesn't get the better of him, but catches him more than he should have. Until he goes to save Angela and he escapes. So that leads us into the next season. But great 2 episodes. Like I said, the first one was a lot of fun, had some action, had some great moments, a little more lighthearted, again some interaction with Kamala's dad, and then episode 6 was the opposite of that, and it was intense. It was just, back to our grit, and it was great to see Matt and Wilson truly show who they really are. Daredevil's back, Kingpin's back, because you don't fuck with either one of them until they come clash. And now that we've got the anti-vigilante task force coming about, now that they've got their gear, now that they're about to hit their streets, Punisher's right around the corner, it's going to get more intense than it's ever been. It really is. Let me know what you think down, of course, below. And as always, appreciate you.